Okay, hello guys. Today we are going over Protoss versus Terran. Alright guys, so Protoss versus Terran. A very weird game. So previously I was just trying to cannon rush the same guy. Yeah, this guy was So and then I beat him, or actually I didn't beat him yet, but we played these two games. This was the second game. I lost, or actually, two games. The first one I lost, the second one I won. And then I told him how much MMR I had. He was like, no, you're horrible. And then I 1v1'd him, and then I slapped him. So then, here we go. So actually, this game initially is just a cannon rush. You guys already know what it is. I was actually initially going to make a cannon rush tutorial, but it didn't work because he was doing this method. Basically, this guy just literally made a 5 racks opener. And then my idea was to just wall off the front of his base with all these cannons. We've actually lost all of them. So that's basically the start of it. And also he made a CC in the bottom left, making reactor. He's just trying to pump out as many Marines and Marauders as possible to storm through and break that front shield. I don't know. Is he gonna attack? Okay. So I make a pylon here. I'm trying to push it up because of the if you guys actually. Oh wait, I think I. Oh yeah. What I actually do here is I actually attack the Marauder and actually kill the Marauder with the probe. So the strategy here is you push cannons up here, so then when you get vision of the high ground, the cannons can shoot the top of the ramp. That's the idea. Alright. So, yeah, it's kind of just a skirmish happening. I think he takes that, yeah, he takes out the pylon. And then I just start patching this up. I'm waiting for this cannon to come up, or these two. So then these two front cannons can defend these cannons, and then these cannons will shoot up here. So he's not pulling the Marauders. Okay, loses one. Okay. So it's pretty, I mean, I'm just building gateways here. I'm gonna, oh, you'll see what I'm gonna do. So what is actually, okay, so I was thinking of trying to make the wall thicker, because the thicker the, oh, and I actually went 2 more gateways. So my idea here is I'm just gonna make as many gateways as possible, or as many as I want, and then I'm gonna use the gateways to make a bunch of units, and then when he eventually destroys the wall, it's gonna be too late, because by the time he ends up destroying the whole wall, I'm gonna have a massive army, and I'm just gonna move my army in there and destroy everything. So he's still basically on one base, because he's not mining out of this base. I mean, he definitely should do it. Like, get a starport, get a medevac, and then start transferring workers, or at least start making workers over here. That wouldn't be so bad either. Okay, so double factory, 5 racks. Kind of weird. I don't understand what this guy's really doing. But I'm getting my second Nexus up. I'm just getting a few zealots for defense, and I'm just getting like 5 zealots at a time. And I'm going warp gate upgrade. So is he gonna? I think this might actually be enough to break this, but we'll see. I think the only way he can actually break this is if he runs right. He destroyed this pylon, or actually, if he destroys these two cannons, and then destroys all of these back pylons, that's the only way he's gonna. Okay, now his units are derping. Okay, finally, getting the good surface area down. Okay, that was not a good move by him. Yeah, everything is coming down for this guy. So I still have the wall on this guy. I mean, he's losing supply. He's got a lot of army. Or 36, 26 SCVs. And my second base comes up, and now this is when my production starts ramping up. Because he's mining with one SCV here. He's getting another base here. And he's not transferring any of the main, not probes, SCVs from the main to his proxy. And then I find the proxy, and then I place these cannons down. Try and stop it. Okay. So I just got the SCV. I mean, he's not really doing anything. I don't think this guy knows what the lift button is, but he's not doing it. Okay, oh, here comes his massive army. He's actually long distance mining, which is a little bit weird. He's taking the cannons head on, which is also kind of not too bad, but I guess that ended up working for him. But yeah, a lot of losses. He's suffering a lot of losses on mostly a mineral heavy army, and his minerals, like, it's not doing so great because his main is almost mined out. So he's resorting to long distance mining, which I don't like because we could always just transfer the leftover workers to a different base. So that probably would be smarter. And I'm just making a few zealots, warping them in, and now I'm supply block because he kind of destroyed those pylons, but it's no big deal. And as you guys can see, I actually have a pretty decent sized army of zealots. And this is like his little army. He thinks that he can just beat me with that. But it's not going to work because I actually have so many zealots. Finally meet each other in the middle. Okay, a few Marines are going down. I don't think we're suffering any losses. Okay, now I'm just plowing through this guy completely. Now, I still have this pylon here. I don't know how or why he didn't destroy it, but I have vision of the mineral line, and I can see that there's no base here. Because I see that the SCVs that are working are not mining to a base, like that is right here. Otherwise, the SCVs would be going in this direction. Oh, I start attacking the Marines and Marauders. I get them kind of stuck in the corner. I ended up taking out these things. And then we're going to move on with our life. Now, we're teching up right now to Stargate. I ended up getting a Twilight because I just want to charge. Because charge against Zealots is going to, or charge against Marines is going to be really nice. Okay, so I have 2 fully saturated bases, or like 1.5, because the main's almost mined out. But yeah, I think we're doing well. He's not he's not moving the SCVs, which obviously advised. Now I actually moved the Zealots over to try and use a little bit of harassment, because since he's long distance mining, if I can take out a few of the SCVs, that's gonna deal significant amount of damage to this guy. And the snowball that he's going to be able to create is way smaller. There's less ramp up in this scenario if he had less workers. So I get a few kills, maybe like 4 or 5. And then I just start killing some of the... It looks like I'm running low on Zealot numbers, which I am. But Zealots, if there's enough of them, you can take out these Marines very easily. So he's trying to micro, but it's not working out well. Okay, so now I'm just killing a few SCVs, 2 go down. I get the Marine, 3 down. And then all the SCVs that he's losing is actually a lot more than you think in terms of the mineral income, because he's not only the 50 that he had to spend the SCVs, but he also had all the mining that he's delaying just by either long distance mining or me killing the SCVs that could have been mining. Now, I know this is a lost cause, I just lose the Zealot, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. All that much. Okay, I got the one marine. Yeah. So I'm okay. Third base in production. Um, all right, and now as you guys can see, I'm actually getting void rays. Now these void rays, don't listen necessarily to the people who say that void rays are not good against marines. They're not really, but in this case, it's actually very good because it doesn't matter how many marines this guy has, because if he has less total supply and I'm using my supply into void rays, if we have equal supply, let's just say 20 supply of void rays versus 20, or rather 21 supply of void rays, 7 void rays versus 21 marines, the 7 void rays, if I'm using also zealots in the composition, with charge obviously, it's just going to melt the entire army. With prismatic alignment, it's going to do a lot more damage. Especially to those, I finally just rose the pylon, especially those marauders, which are really going to do the thick damage to the zealots, but to try and stop the marauders from dealing so much damage to our ground army, which is going to kill the marines, we're going to use the void rays, which absolutely melt the marauders. Now we're 3 base, full saturate, or really like 2.5. Now I'm getting constant void ray production, and I'm should be getting some zealots shortly. Yep, right now. And this is his army. Like, it's a pretty big army, but he's got no upgrades, and he's really mining on only like 1 base total. Now, what are my upgrades? Okay, so my upgrades are pretty horrible too, but charge should compensate for the lack of micro in this army, because I can just jump directly on top of his army without having to split up the units. Now, so he's actually making a smart move here, attacking on equal ground. So if you were to get up on this ramp right here, on the top of it, and attack, it's going to do severe damage. Now, I realize, oh damn, he actually has a massive army. It didn't work for me right there. So I'm just like, hold on. Can't be doing this. Now this guy makes a horrible mistake, which is walking straight into a choke point, because first of all, I can pull the workers so that if he's targeting the workers, then my army can just cut through his army, or he's just blocking himself in because his pylon just finished. He's stimming, but it doesn't matter. Prismatic line going off against the marauders, and the zealots are absolutely wrecking everything, and we just win that fight. So now he's forced to just basically make marines while I'm making void rays, and void rays obviously are going to kill the marines in straight up battle. So in this case, I'm like just going to march over across the map. I don't really have that many zealots, but this guy can't, to my knowledge, this guy can't have very much, because he's only mining on so many bases. He's mining on like 1 base. So once that mining runs out, I'm just going to be able to run across the map and beat him, which is exactly what happened, and you're going to see what happens. So here we go, we're charging directly on top of the units. USVs go down. Alright, so he's stimming. Okay, we got a few more zealots coming in for the reinforcement. Prismatic line goes off. And now the zealot, okay, now, so he's not really microing this. If you're in this scenario, you want to micro against the units that do the most damage and the ones that are the easiest to hit, which are the zealots. The zealots are doing the most of the cutting, but also the void rays with prismatic line are doing very well. So if you were to kill all the zealots, I don't think it would be enough for him to take out the void rays, but it's a better attempt if he were to actually target. But in this case, he wasn't actually targeting, and he's just forced to tap out. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.